Hello and welcome back to yet another episode of the Miseducation of Music. You are here with J-Treb, and today we got a very special guest with us. We got Anwar Ansante. Now, you all might not know him. You may not have seen him on the podcast, but you have seen his work. He did the amazing videos that we had for our On Location with Christian Jalan. Shout out to him for those. I'm put a couple clips of those right here while we're talking. And then also, he's got his own YouTube channel that's doing views already, man. So you all might have seen him in other places. I got him on here today because we got to talk about something very important. We got to talk about Beyonce, man. But before we get into that, man, tell him what's up. Tell him something about yourself, man.
That intro was so fire. It needed like a, we just needed like a pause, just to soak that in.
I came in with the intro and
man.
it was just like froze right after, man. But tell him what's up. Tell him something about yourself, my G.
Man, well, first of all, just I appreciate you. Thanks for having me on, man. Been a fan of the podcast for a minute.
Man, thank you for
me
coming
and you go
on.
way back, so. Man, I've been supporting from afar, so it's cool to kind of get in on it and see what's up. But yeah, man, I'm just excited to talk about all of the themes today. And honestly, it's just been cool. My journey as a creative lately, it's one of those moments where a lot of people could see like, wow, you. Overnight success or like, wow.
Because you going crazy, my G. Like, YouTube out the gate. He like, yeah, we could do 1K views on that little video. We could do that real quick.
Man. Probably by Sunday, it'll be at like 3K. So for
man,
the first
that's what I'm saying. That is crazy. And we got to talk about that today, too. We got to intermingle that in the convo, man, because we like to celebrate the creatives, man. And you are going insane on YouTube, man. The fashion on there, man. I'm gonna get a clip right here because I was watching the video today. I'm gonna put a clip in for them so they can see, man. Because you was going crazy. I'm about to buy me about 6-7 hats, man. Like,
man, stop it.
It was crazy, dude. But honestly, I've been watching your videos and it's just crazy because I don't even consider myself someone who's in the fashion space who even pays attention to it a lot. And the videos are broken down so awesome. Like, you break the video down to where it's like here's your everyday wear. Here's just like how you weren't even thinking about you throwing that hat on when you were walking out. You weren't thinking about it when you grabbed them sweatpants and threw them with these shoes. But like, you're like, I don't know, I'm starting to think about that now. Like, honestly, man, like, that's so dope, like, that you could even, like, make someone interested. Like, I recommend everybody go check out his channel. Like, it's so real, man. Just it's so dope. The advice you have, the knowledge on it, too, man. It's crazy.
And I appreciate that. I just wanted to make content, from a production value standpoint, just the way I produce it, it's a certain moment I'm chasing. My dad and I, rest in peace, Kobe Bryant. My dad and I, we sit in the basement and we'd watch Kobe Bryant. And, it's weird to say, I don't know, I just don't know if you normally would associate these two things, but see something cool and then you laugh. It's not that it's funny. It's that it was so.
The reaction was just, how did he do it?
You were lost for words, but you had to have some kind of physical outburst of emotion, and it ends up being a laugh. And so I call that the Kobe laugh. When you see something just so dope, it's so cool. You just like.
You just have to laugh at it. I know exactly what you mean, man.
You just get that feeling. So from a production standpoint, that's what I'm constantly chasing as a creative. I want to make content that's just so buttery, so like crispy.
People look at it and they just got to give you that little laugh.
That little Kobe laugh, like, oh, that boy cooking.
That's like how when artists are making music, they just trying to get you to make the stank face. They just want you to look at it and just. Yeah. It's like you like the song so much, you got to look at it with disgust for a second.
Constantly chasing that as a creative, as well as just for me, in terms of the content, I've seen a lot of blessings and love come into my life when, I put energy and effort into ultimately like my personal brand. It's so. One, this speaks to the kind of people I'm hanging around, but two, I think it does speak to me just in terms of being in the 6th grade and, one of your friends gives you the compliment. No, 7th grade. He gives you the compliment and he says, wow, man, your personal branding is impeccable. First of all, what seventh grader is saying that?
I was not saying that in seventh grade. I'll tell you that right now.
You know what I'm saying? And I just, you know, what kind of compliment are you, like, how are you giving out compliments like that in the
Your
seventh
personal
grade?
branding is, I can't imagine a seventh grader saying that right now.
Quote, you know? It's so just, I know we're talking about fashion, but ultimately more so on just my personal brand, me, right? How do I reflect what's in here out to the world? My personal brand, you know, really thinking about how I want to do that, or who I want to be, or how I want to represent myself at a young age, really brought a lot of value and a lot of positivity into my life. So I just want to ultimately create content that gives you that Kobe laugh, but also shows you different ways you can represent yourself, and you can, you know, show yourself to the world in a way that I think, you know, speaks to people, or has presence, you know, and leaves a mark on people. And yeah, I've been able to do that in a lot of instances, and I've got a lot of benefit. So I would like to show people how they can receive similar, you know, blessings as well.
I think that's how you create the content that people always like. Like when you can say that, like, this is more than content, this is me. Like it's a piece of me. Like that's essentially what you're saying there. You're like, this is not just something that I enjoy to do. It's like I'm showing you pieces of myself. When I thought about this and I did this, here's a video about it, and let me show you and break it down. That's so dope, man. See, that's the kind of content I like, man. That's the content that I feel like I'm always gonna be here for.
No, but I appreciate it. As far as that content, I mean, there's also wanting to underline that, or connect it to who I am as not only a creative but a Black creative. And so
definitely, man. Definitely.
I'm sure it's probably the host job to segue into the
oh no,
topic of
you
the
giving
day.
me more segues. I had one. You giving me more, man. We in it. Look, see, and that's even crazier because I'm about to throw your segue in another segue. We're gonna segue it all up, man. Because we usually do terrible segues on this show, or they're stupid telegraphed. So this is even better. Because I was going to say, it's so dope when you can put yourself into your craft and you present something that's a piece of you, because I feel like that's exactly what Beyonce did with Black is King. And it made her, from the creative perspective, as well as the African-American creative, I was just like, this is wonderful. I feel like I watched The Lion King the way I was supposed to see it. Like, I feel like if I had kids, like, we could watch that one, but you got to watch this one first. Like, you got to understand, like, the story here. Like, this is so much better.
Like The Wiz.
Oh, my, yeah, exactly. When I was a kid, I saw The Wiz, then I saw The Wizard of Oz. I thought The Wizard of Oz was a knockoff. I was like, they didn't even do it right. Where's the good music?
Right.
Bruh, I was, man, for real, though, like, I thought the original was The Wiz. I was like, where's Michael Jackson? Where'd Diana Ross go? Like, who are all of these people? But my thing is, like, this is such a beautiful piece of art. Like, this, to me, is art. Like, the way she did it, the execution, the acting, the outfits, the shots. Man, we got to get into everything on this because it was that good, man. Now, initial reaction when you just first started watching it, what was it for you?
You know, an initial reaction, if I'm being honest,
what is this about to be?
This woman is beautiful.
For real, though, honestly, she's walking on the beach, and I could even tie that into some tropes that happen later on, but she looks so angelic. Like, the shot is beautiful, the way the camera hits her, the way she's walking on the beach. You're just like, Jesus Christ, like, she looks like she's not from this planet.
Honest truth, man. You know, immediately I'm from there. I'm thinking about just how they produced it. I'm thinking about the lighting. Was this in a studio? Were they actually on location?
I kept thinking. I was like, how many shots is this? Like, how much did it cost? How many different settings were there? Every song has 13 cuts.
Yeah.
Like, what?
100%, 100%. The first initial reaction is like, this, I need a Beyonce. Like, this woman is
Just like, what?
absolutely incredible. She's gorgeous. But you know, I think the artwork is a reflection of her, and it's just as beautiful, if not more so. 100% for me. That Virgo energy is coming out in her. She's very detail oriented.
Virgo energy.
Every little meaning after meaning after meaning. It was huge. Right away, I definitely I caught how important it was for her to pair this story with The Lion King. And I think the overall theme there for me was that this is going to be a lot of inferences. This is going to be subliminal. This is going to be these little details and trinkets. And so it's going to go over your head. It's going to go over your head. And ultimately, if you want to, your audience.
That just pop out for you? My Zoom just shut out.
That I noticed that.
It's still recording though. Hey, let's keep going, man. I'm sorry. Let me not interrupt you.
No, you're good. You're good, man. I think that her just that Virgo energy, being detail oriented, a lot of subliminal messages there, and I think to pair this more adult, more mature story that may go over someone's head. With The Lion King,
intense.
Which is a story
like
that
my second watch through is where I started really understanding. Like, cause my
You know
first
what I'm
one was
saying?
like, okay, this is nice, but that second one, I was like, no, this is real.
Well, you know, the first go around, you stare at an outfit the whole damn time.
I was looking, man. The first go around, I would think I was too into the music and purely just the scenery. Like,
Yeah.
I was like, I can't pay attention to story because I'm too busy looking at the details in every single scene.
The aerial shot, I'm like, you would have thought she had a
With
helicopter.
the music. They were with
Yeah.
music, man. That's what I was saying. Beyonce doesn't even have drones, man. She's on helicopters. There's no way. You can't get these shots.
Nice.
She had 4K reds on helicopters. That's what she had. Like, how
Yeah.
the shot for I think it was song number 2, where it's the God shot, just straight up in the clouds, comes down to Beyonce, and she's wearing the glasses, and I was just like, that's insane. Like, how did you?
Crazy.
I don't know how. I don't even know how to make that. Like, how do you direct someone to do that?
Crazy. Absolutely crazy. And yeah, you know, I just think a lot of it would have went over a lot of people's heads. And so to connect it to a story that's near and dear to everyone's heart, The Lion King, you were able to understand it more if you watch close. But so beautiful. I thought the transitions were so slick.
I loved her using the narration from the movie in the transitions. I think that's what helped it out even more. Especially, so my watch through yesterday, which I don't know which time it was, but my watch through that I did yesterday, I kept the song list up with me so I could take notes per song, so I could just make sure I'm putting the correct notes with everything. And when I was doing that one, I was like, she gave us this audio. Like, I've heard this album. How did I not hear this story? Like, once it all combined, like, that was the perfection. Like, once I noticed that it was the exact same order from the album, I'm like, okay, it's exactly that. She's giving us this story. It's coming to fruition here.
Yeah.
The intro, like, because the segues didn't make much sense to me in the album. Like, I got that she was trying to convey something, but once the visual, and oh my God, we're going to have to talk about Jessie Reyez at some point too, because damn, Jessie Reyez, kid. I love her. I've been a fan for so long. I was a fan before anyone knew who she even was.
She looked just like Scar.
Oh, yes.
She the way they did her makeup and just kind of how they lit her face, she even had like a lion sort of shape. Yeah.
And how because it went from that chasing through the jungle scene, and then when they hit the lights on her, it felt like you were still
like the
moving.
lion. It was like the stampede, the equivalent with the motorcycles.
It was cold, man. It was so cold.
Yeah, and I caught that right away.
And it was like, every element played into the story. Like, even continuing on, and I mean, even the Find Your Way Back. Oh my God, the CG, the blow up behind her. That the falling, was it a falling star,
No,
like
it
an
was-
asteroid that hits directly behind?
Yeah.
Such a beautiful shot.
Yeah.
And it like when she's there, I love the nip salute. Shout out her for that. Definitely.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Nipsey Hussle.
Yeah.
I like the marathon
Oh,
line.
man.
She was in a
R.I.P.
rap bag a little bit here. We need to talk about that. She was in the rap bag.
Yo,
Well, even on song
she-
one, she had some flows going. Like Beyonce
was
is like,
catching
you're not
it.
no boxes anymore. This album doesn't even have a genre, in my opinion.
She was catching it.
This album is just black.
No, but when you mentioned it was certain things that didn't totally catch when you heard the album, but when you watched the actual, that visual experience she gave us, a lot of things clicked. A lot of stories and narratives that she was trying to put together with the music now click. Like, isn't that just the beauty of a music video?
I know, right, but this was so much deeper than a music video. Like, I mean, you could have gave me a music video, but she was like, I wanted to elevate it. And then I wanted to own it and give it to Disney, because that was hers.
Yeah.
It was a Parkwood production. That was not a Disney production.
Yeah.
Like, and that's so crazy. I just, man, how do you come up with that?
I think for me, her taking a stance and valuing visuals. A lot of people saying like death to the music video. MTV isn't a thing. My mom talks about, she remembers when that Michael Jackson music video came out from way back when. She watched it on the TV.
Those were
with
like
all her
movies,
siblings.
though. A Michael Jackson music video is the closest thing you got to a movie with your music.
Yeah.
Smooth Criminal makes so much more sense when you watch the video and see him turn into a Ferrari.
Yeah. So for her to do Lemonade visual experience, for her to do Homecoming.
Her concerts back in the day were the predecessors.
Yeah.
Because I got those on DVD here at the crib. We used to watch those all the time. My mom used to buy them whenever the tour DVD would come out, and they had as much production. I don't want to say quality, because the quality was completely different, but the same goal was trying to be achieved as what we got in Homecoming, which I consider to be the perfection of shooting a concert. If you are going to say you are shooting, and I can't believe that I've paid, because some concerts have gone to movie theaters, and I've paid for a movie ticket to see some concerts, and I can't believe I ever paid $1 because this is what they should have been giving me. If you're gonna shoot your concert, that's what I want. I want that level. I want to see your dedication. I also want to see beautiful musicality. I want to see the side shows that were happening. She kept her drum line in there. She had other acts come on stage, and those parts were shot. Normally, when people do the concert video, it's just them. Like, ooh.
No, you're right.
She went crazy. She showed off every element of it. She wanted you to see behind the stage. Then she wanted you to see what the final product was achieved, like how it was achieved through that. And then now she's just like, I'm a filmmaker, so we just gonna retell the Lion King. I like this better than the new Lion King, man. Like,
I looked at my sister and I said, I like this better than Lion King.
It was so much better. Honestly, man, I feel like she was holding back reading her Nala lines, because I didn't make fun of her for the way she read some of them Nala lines. They was a little goofy. But in this one, it was perfect. I'm like, so you had to come over here getting your Sasha Fierce bag. Because she was, Beyonce was Nala. This was a whole different production.
Yeah. No, she absolutely bodied this. Man, it was such a beautiful movie. It was a lot of things that she was saying in there. But from the production standpoint, and just from the like, whoa, this is just cold as hell, like Kobe laugh type content.
Like every song, you're just like, what again? She
killed it.
Man, it was crazy. Now, one of my favorites, and so we're kind of going chronologically right now, so I'm not even gonna throw the vibe off. What happens really like next in the production of Black is King is that Jealous Me, that Don't Jealous Me, man. Yeah. That track is so good.
Yeah.
Man, like as soon I thought I was done with the Afrobeat vibe, I was like, people been doing it hard lately. This Don't Jealous Me track, because I remember when it came out on The Gift, I was like, it's okay, I like it, it's all right. With that visual, whole different level, man. It was so good. Man, the sheep
No,
don't run with lion, and you got the story happening in the
yeah,
background with the kid
took
trying
it
to
to
figure
another
out about
level.
himself.
Took it to another level, 100%. I just, man, she really brought those songs. She, man, another dimension. She really did. But for me, I just like, oh my goodness, I think that just the way that she lit all the people, the way that how colorful it was. I think the set design and everything she was trying to say. I think you talked about Afro beats. For me, I it's I feel like 5, 10 years from now, it's gonna be in a whole nother stratosphere.
So like that might branch off into more music being created and stemming from it.
Yeah,
I can
and
see it.
so
I feel like it might be here to stay now.
for her to make content like this,
That's what I mean. It's like the
on
goddess
Disney
of the industry said
Plus,
it. She said it's okay. She said it's the vibe. She showed you how to
you
do it
know,
properly. It's y'all turn.
on Disney Plus, to put people on in that way, yeah, like she's really putting that culture on blast. Not to say that it hasn't been, because I've been for me, Afrobeats was an introduction through WizKid,
Yep.
from like way back. It was Drake, personally for me, but I'm just such a Drake stan.
Yeah,
He
but see,
does a
Drake catching
he
waves
does a
before waves
remix.
exist. But that's because he Drake, and we respect
Well,
him for it. But he be
well,
using all of it. Because Drake, man,
let's
people don't be peeping, and I've been saying this for years. Drake tested out his whole island Caribbean Afrobeat. He tested that out on Find Your Love. He tested that out and he said, "Do y'all like it?"
look.
And y'all said, "We like that little Find Your Love." And then he came back and said, "Well, I went in the dungeon, perfected it, brought it back to you, and gave you about 4 summers of it."
Yep.
Like,
Look. So now we're gonna have a real conversation. Cause now we're gonna have a real conversation because I'm a Drake stan. Like, Drizzy Drake, the only one that got the gift without the curse. OVO
take your
XO, catch
stance
your
here on
girl
the
in my next show.
Miseducation, man.
You know what I'm saying? Let's talk about cultural appropriation. And so what I want to say is I feel like it's a lot of ignorant people out here talking about cultural appropriation.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying? My definition of cultural appropriation has a lot to do with finances. First and foremost,
Are you
you're
using the
taking somebody's
people whose
culture.
culture it is?
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And you're monetizing it, a culture that you didn't create. And there's no, you got a whole different set of people producing, directing, whatever. Same way the Grimm brothers, if you guys know anything about the Grimm brothers, and
Yep.
they make all of those, all of those stories. Those were stolen.
Exactly.
Cinderella ain't come from where you think it came from. It was stolen. From
Exactly. I
from
mean,
a from a
Cinderella, Snow
country
White,
that has
Sleeping
people
Beauty,
who
all
might
of
look
them.
like me. You know what I'm saying? So
I
for
mean, dude, we can go
me,
back to the Bible. Jesus ain't never looked like not one statue I've ever seen. I mean, they
come on.
appropriate everything. Everything
So
gets changed
that's
around.
cultural appropriation. For Drake, first and foremost, let's talk about where he's from. He's from Toronto, Canada. My man's from Canada. If you understand anything about Canada, it's similar to Chicago's food scene. It's similar to if you go to UK and you walk like maybe 2-3 blocks in London, you're gonna hear maybe like 4 or 5 different accents. You're gonna hear an Irish person. You're gonna hear an African accent. You're gonna hear someone speaking in Spanish. You're gonna hear just go 2 blocks and you're gonna hear so many different things. Same way you can go and get all different types of food, and they're all on a high level in Chicago because I think Chicago got the best food out there.
Definitely.
But when we talk about Toronto, it's also just a very wide place of all different types of
It's got a lot
people,
of diversity.
cultures, but specifically, you will catch a lot of Jamaicans. You will catch a heavy Jamaican culture. You will catch just in Canada, especially if you're getting West Coast, you'll see a lot of Asian culture. You'll see a lot of French culture. It's definitely just like a hodgepodge. It's a whole. It's
a
very
melting pot
diverse
of different cultures in that area.
100%.
And Drake was like, "Let me go ahead and show you the music from all of these mugs."
To sit up here and tell me, fake Jamaican, this, that, the third, like he grew up around those people. Some of his closest friends are Jamaican. This is culture that he grew up in that neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? So that's one. And then two, has this man not, like, the Migos got a bag. The Migos got a bag. All three of them got a bag. They got individual bags. They got Cardi B's and
bags,
Sweeties.
individual bags, combo bags.
Talk to me about Versace. What's up with that? Who put that on? Who did that?
Hey,
you heard? You know what I'm saying?
The original version of Versace had Soulja Boy on it.
Yep.
And who did they decide to release is the bigger question. They had two versions. Did they decide to go with Soulja Boy or did they decide to go with Drake?
Wow, so that's new to me.
What do their returns look like?
Wow.
What do their returns look like?
So they say he ripping that Atlanta because he did the Versace. The way that the Migos was doing ad-libs is very distinct. So he came in there, he put his own little spin on it. You know what I'm saying?
The thing is, a lot of people also want to say that Drake preys on that. It's like he wants to catch the beginning of the wave because if he's on the beginning of the wave, he stays relevant, and whoever's behind him, you get picked up for however amount of time. He does not care. But he's going to catch a wave. Let's now throw in like Block Boy JB.
Yeah.
Who was peeping?
Yeah.
And then
100%.
Here comes Drake.
Yep.
You don't get the same boost Migos got, but you get a little boost.
Yep.
So I think that Drake is the businessman for that move. But then again, I give him credit because I love and hate Drake at the same time, all the time. I'm always in that conflicted pool because I understand what he's done and I'll always respect him for it. But sometimes I'm just like, I don't really find a lot of originality in you besides the fact that you are great at what you do. That's the originality. The fact that he can combine it all and do it. Like, not a lot of people can do what he does as far as catch the wave, show it to you, and then even if you don't know it, next 5 years you're gonna see this. Like, no, 100%. No matter what. And I don't know if 100%. I like it, but I mean, I respect the fact that he does not miss hard. Like, I mean, I can name a couple Drake misses, but they ain't really misses because he still got that fan base.
Yep. No, 100%. I think that somebody like Kendrick Lamar, very distinct sound.
Very distinct.
Sonically, he plays and he dabbles, but definitely you know it's Kendrick. You know what I'm saying? Somebody like Drake absolutely will shock you or will like
in the game.
Rap in Arabic.
He needs to be right now.
Is this the wall? I'm
gonna blend into it.
He'll go ahead and sing in Spanish, right?
He started to sing rap, man. I give him credit. I credit that 130%. People would not be singing halfway through their 32 if Drake didn't do it.
Come on.
That's just real.
And then I'm just seeing Post Malone's and rest in peace Juice WRLD and
definitely.
I'm just seeing a new wave of artists come out and the way they're going about how they create music. It's melody. It's
I agree with that.
Important.
I feel like there's a lack though, because when you have somebody like Drake who established himself in the game, and man, we about to get into some Drake now, but established himself into the game with freestyles such as the Still Fly, Ransom freestyle. These are great freestyles where he bars down, does not miss bar. He proved to us he could rap. He proved it to us. Like, there's no doubt in my mind. I know that back when Drake had the side scroll BlackBerry, if he wrote something, it was going to be all right. Like, but then he ventured into this pop rap category that he pioneered a decent portion of. And now people want to jump into the pop rap category, but you've not proven to me that you know how to rap. So it's cool if
100%.
you can make a little melody. You got a little something I could jig to for 2 seconds, and then your verse is humming a hum. Like I can't.
Right.
Like if you can't back it with the bar, because people forget that Drake can do a cool flow, cool melody, but he gonna hit you. He's still gonna hit you with a verse. Like even if you get an album where I feel a lot of it was fan service, like More Life. I feel like that was very fan servicey. A lot of the tracks just felt like the vibe he knew his fans liked. And then you get to Do Not Disturb, and you like, but he couldn't let you forget I am a rapper. Like when I heard Do Not Disturb, I was like, this is what I was waiting for.
My side girl got with the screen cut, still hit me
but
back.
You see, like he knows what the fans want, but he also knows he could bar you down. And I think that if you do not possess both of those, don't expect to succeed in one, in my opinion.
Well, ultimately, if you're doing a pop rap, and you haven't established that part, like somebody like Drake, just that ability to go bar for bar, when the dust settles, you're probably not gonna be at the end.
You're not.
You know,
you're gonna be left somewhere.
You know, you'll get left in that, and you might get forgotten about. You know, there's a a legendary quality to things that Drake does, and a lot of that has to do with the established. I got bars. So when you haven't established that in the grand scheme of things. Absolutely. Now, if you just want to make a couple million, you know what I'm saying, go duck off, buy some real estate, live a chill life, you know what I'm saying, absolutely go that route. But if you want that legendary, I'm that guy.
But I mean, like, if you ain't doing it if you ain't doing it to be a legend, I don't know why you do it, man. Now, to seep back into some Beyonce with a horrible Miseducation fashion transition, we could talk about a legend, because what surprised me was hearing the Kendrick Beyonce song that was on the project as Mufasa's funeral. That was insanity. Yeah. That was crazy to put together in my mind. I was just like, what? It almost, and to me, maybe I'm diving too deep. If you've seen it and you're listening right now, then you can dive this deep with me. But I heard it as Kendrick giving a eulogy for Mufasa. That's how I pictured it in the scene. Maybe I was too deep into it. It might have been like 5 a.m. when I was watching. But I'm just like, this feels like Kendrick's giving the eulogy right here. It feels like Beyonce is the angelic figure here, but also doubles being Mufasa's spirit while singing right there in her vibe. And it was just, the way it was shot was awesome. The bottom of her mouth was entirely white. Like, what? That was crazy. Yeah. But that track was just beautiful. Insane.
I definitely think she had a goddess of fertility, of life, of sort of blessing. She definitely carried that. Even and I'm jumping a little bit, but like that end scene, she gives the baby.
Oh yeah.
At the end, and so again, it just felt like you just see her. In this sort of, she's blessing, she's watching over, she's got this gracefulness to her, in terms of just kind of that role that she was playing throughout the visual experience. I just like calling it a visual experience.
Yeah, no, it was a visual experience, man. I'm with you, G. Because she played 2 roles, and we'll have to dive into that when we get into a little bit of the end of it, because she does play 2 roles here, which is the insanity of it once you peep it, because it's like you were acting that entire time. Because originally, my first watch through, I was seeing Beyonce. I wasn't seeing past Beyonce, and I feel like that might be my issue I have with her when she's acting in movies and things of that nature, too. It's hard to see past Beyonce. This, being a visual experience that it is, made me see past that. It made me have to go okay, I can't see Beyonce right here. I have to look deeper. I have to hear the words. I have to see what's happening. And then, and this is something that I really want to get into, and I wish that I could title this episode this, but there's no way I would title this episode this. But right after that song goes off, Jay-Z pulls up, and Jay-Z does not want you to not think he's not Jay-Z. But what I would love to title this episode, and I want to ask you if you have any clue, can Jay-Z even play chess? He plays chess in 4 separate scenes. We get close-ups of him playing chess. And I was just like, can Can he play? Like, I'm really wondering at this point.
So I have a lot to say about this one. So that was very interesting for me. First of all, the transition there. You had
Timon and Pumbaa.
Well, it was like young Simba in the roles.
Yep.
And then it transitions, and now Jay-Z's
And
got
Jay-Z
his
is
feet
sitting in
up
the
in the
back with
roles.
his feet up.
So very, old school roles, very, very sick.
There was
transition
a lot of old
there.
school roles in that low. Did you see him? Did you see the other?
Yeah.
Man, I paused that scene because I was just like, those cars are
I was
immaculate.
looking into it. They said that they did film at the Knowles Carter estate. And I have a feeling maybe that scene that might have been their home. And I don't know. It reminded me of.
That's one of their homes. That probably ain't even their main house.
Yeah,
that's their house in some other country.
It reminded me a little bit of another scene that they were in a different video, which made me think that maybe that was their home. But
which video are you thinking? Is it something from the self-titled Beyonce album?
Either that, or maybe I'm thinking of something from the Carters, that joint album that they dropped.
That album.
I don't know. Or it even could have been.
I was thinking about the Partition video, thinking that some of those might have looked similar.
Maybe. But I do think I read somewhere. I think she shot some scenes in her actual home, and I felt like that probably was it. They had, Miss Tina, they had Mama in a couple of the shots and all that. But yeah, him playing chess, I thought that was really interesting. Towards the end of it, as they were kind of transitioning out, they started to explain kind of what was going on. And they talked about like this constant game between like dark and light, white and black.
And then the human chessboard is there as well for that depiction.
Yeah. And ultimately kind of wrap that up as like good and evil. But I felt like you could not. I think when you're analyzing, it's like, okay, they're trying to say something about chess. They're trying to say something about chess.
Because that's what I'm saying. They had so many close-ups of it. I was like, I know you want me to notice this. And then I see the human chessboard. So I'm like, okay, it makes sense. And then I'm like, can Jay-Z play chess? Can he even play?
A conversation there.
Because he walks in, his butler's standing there with the chessboard, and then he gets to the table, and he's making moves. Who is he even playing against? Like, I haven't seen an opponent yet. But, dude, that was really getting to me. But also the painting in the house during this video of Beyonce as the Virgin Mary with Grammys around her. I don't know if you peeped that, but I was like, I want to copy it. Like, I'll put that right here on the wall, man. Did
you see Donald Glover?
No. Was that one of the paintings
huge painting. I think it was like in the kitchen-looking area. And yeah, he popped up several times. They had him in this like green suit, I think. Maybe that was an Oscar suit. I don't know, but they had him in that suit, and he popped up a few times, and I was like, oh, nice little like Easter egg there.
I did not notice.
But that was one of my favorite scenes. Ultimately, just from a fashion standpoint, I really liked how Jay-Z was coming with the fits.
Oh, all his fits were dope. I still don't know how I feel about his hair as a personal standpoint, because it's like, gee, it's a lot. He got a lot going on. He was the homie with the fade at all times for years.
Yeah,
like
always
traditional New York fade hat to the side. Now you can't even wear hats.
I don't know, man. I've been growing out my hair, and I was a fade. I was waves on the top, and then they faded into the sand.
I was a fade kid because my parents wouldn't let me grow my hair out, and then I lost all my hair, so then it didn't matter no more what I cared about.
I think I have some people in the family that kind of want me to cut the hair, but I've grown attached. I think also connecting with my sisters with hair, and rocking it natural has done a lot, but I don't know. I just feel a little more connected. You feel more connected with the,
see, that's what I always thought. That's why I always wanted it. I never got to see. Now I can't even do it, man. I don't even get this option.
I've got like this long hair now. It goes like all the way down, so it's pretty cool. I love, and again, I brought up the cultural appropriation thing to talk about Drake because I know he's big on it too. But I also have seen some conversations about Beyonce in this film, and some ideas about culturally appropriating, Africa.
I
And
don't know if I would agree with that because I watched all of her credits. And if you watch all of those credits, I don't know how you could think she's appropriating anything because she is making sure.
100%.
Man, I was because I didn't notice it, but I was just like, gee, if you sat on set,
Yeah.
your name was in the end.
Yeah.
If you emptied the trash cans, if you brought the food, if you checked
Yep.
wardrobe, if you
100%.
swept the floor at the end of the day, you got credit.
Yeah, 100%.
But I mean, she credited locations, credited people who were obviously not from this country. There was lots of names I could not pronounce.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I could say this is an appropriation thing as much as it's an expose. No, that's the wrong word. I want to say like a living essay. It's like this is more trying to show you something that she knows you cannot go physically see yourself.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like to me.
I totally disagree with the idea that it's appropriation. Same way how I feel about Drake. I think that it's a very strong left appreciation. We're not going to go right and call it a appropriation at all. It's very, very rooted in appreciation. I think if you understand, kind of the behind the scenes and the thought process and all that, just do so much research. I know that consumed her life.
Oh,
I know
yeah.
it did.
This is not a simple undertaking, too.
No.
You
no.
had to go learn your appropriate history here.
Yeah.
Like,
and first and foremost, she's black. Let's just
that's what I'm saying. I was about to say because like
she's black.
If I'm,
it's
as
her
I'm
culture.
listening to the songs in there, like I'm hearing so many more salutes than I am anything else. If you're appropriating, you want to pass it off as something you created. I feel like that's a part of appropriation. It's pretending like what
100%.
existed before that you're taking did not exist. It's almost like turning a blind eye to it, where I feel like this was putting a spotlight on it.
Yeah.
She was more so saying, this is what I learned. Everybody come learn it.
Yeah.
And I felt like
100%.
I was learning more about myself. I felt like I was learning from a creative standpoint how to execute vision better because her execution was flawless. Like, I don't know. I just noticed so many things. And to touch back on Childish Gambino, too, I don't know if you saw Guava Island. It was a film with him and Rihanna. I had very Guava Island vibes on his feature. Very Guava Island vibes.
Yeah. Well, I
he
think
was in that
from
same
an editing
bag from like the
standpoint,
Feels Like Summer jams.
Yeah. From an editing standpoint, I think that visually, we definitely went with like a vintage filter across
I loved it when they were in the house with it.
Very colorful, warm tones and things like that. So it definitely put me in that zone 100%. But yeah, he definitely was in his bag. Even the Pharrell feature when Pharrell got on there and he put,
man, when I tell
that
you
was a cool experience.
I had to see Pharrell do that to believe that was him. I've heard the track, but when I tell you I got it, like once I saw it, I was like, okay, that's Pharrell. Like I was like, I don't know if I want to believe it when I heard it. I didn't know he had that voice in him, that bag, that genre.
Yep.
What is that bag? It was so crazy. And the basket dancing now, and I got that written down right here because the Pharrell one is also, and I got a quote written for it too because right at the beginning is where they say you can't wear a crown with your head down. And I was like, man, that one, I was watching it, and I was like, ooh, that's a good one. I got to put that at the top of the notes for the week because that's just a very good line. But they did the basket dance in that one.
Captions.
Man, that's what I'm saying. That's a good one, isn't it?
Hold on. Can't wear a crown with your head down.
Man, that's a good one.
Yeah, fire. I'm putting it in there.
And they say that right before it starts. That's another reason why I think, and we can put this as another notch as being appreciation, not appropriation, because you don't put that much detail into going into your tracks, into your transitions without trying to convey a message. But like it was so good, and then when they was going crazy in that water, man, I rewind that scene like 4 times. I was like, "How do you choreograph? How did you do it?" Like I know I'm not a dancer. I have such an appreciation for it because I know I can never do it.
they did and she was in the water. And,
Man, that's why everybody in this ankle deep water just hit
look,
me.
man, I said they had to done some, and I think this was the scene at the house. This was like coming off the chest scene, I think. But yeah, they did that synchronized swimming into the pool.
Oh man, that scene was insanity.
That scene was crazy. But my sister, she was like, do you think she was actually in the water, because she looked dry, like her outfit didn't even get wet? I said, she got that Adidas deal. They probably have some super high tech.
I think Beyonce is probably just so rich, like she could afford fabric that don't get wet.
Moisture wicking.
That's what I'm saying. She definitely got enough, bro. Come on, man. Beyonce dipped in the water and she got out still dry.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it's had to be crazy. Like I can't even think about like setting those scenes, and maybe see, I know that I get far too deep when I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking about the people who have to put them all on their spots. I'm thinking about, what if we need to take two? You got to get everybody out, dry them back off, redo the hair, get everybody back out to water, put the swim caps back on for these people, get these people over here. Like, I was like, these are like expensive and perfect. Like, I mean, Beyonce lets me know that if I ever get enough money, I have to execute my creative visions to the fullest extent. Like, man, because it was so dope. Like, that scene is insanity. How does she just do it every time?
100%. I'm glad you're bringing that up, because, I think that there's a level of like, you have to respect your own creativity, in terms of, so when you say that, that's kind of what I'm getting from that. It's just like, you owe it to yourself and your creativity to see that all the way. Like, don't cut no corners, to like really go to the edge.
Exactly. I mean, like, that's the thing.
What you're creating.
When you really want something to be perfect, you can't settle. And I think this video was the definition of, we're not settling. We're going to show you, like, we're going to do this so perfectly. And I mean, that's been Beyonce's reputation for so long. The quality performance, perfect 100%. To a T. To deliver that on this side of it is different, though. Because when you're performing, it's exercise, get it together, your timing's okay. This was deeper than that. This is post. This is writing. This is setting people up. This is production. It's so many moving pieces on top of what she already was a perfectionist with.
And so, if you see any of her behind the scenes, her hands were involved in every
she does.
Aspect
when I show people some of the older tour DVDs that Beyonce had, like, you think Homecoming was Beyonce going crazy? Like, no, you got to see the I Am Sasha Fierce tour. You got to see she been doing this. The tour that they did with the cereal box. I went to this tour in Chicago. I can't remember which one it was. It was Lemonade tour. But she had the huge cereal box. It was made by the same designer who did the box for Drake's Hotline Bling video. Same designer from that. Created this huge, like, cereal box thing. Beyonce was on set every day, in the crowd, on her MacBook Pro, making sure everything is okay. Every day. Like, if other people are working, she there working. And I know that for her to dive into a project like this, it had to be insane. It had to be insane. And she just keep doing this one after another.
No, so, again, just so much respect for to her own creativity. She's like, I've got this idea in my head. I was blessed with this idea being plopped into my head somehow. I have a duty to see this idea out to the fullest, to invest in this idea and turn it into, to bring my A game every day, to turn this into something that's just going to be so bright and beautiful and just creative and inspirational, right? Not just be like, oh, that would be cool. I should do that sometime.
It's but like let's just grab a camera and take some shots around Africa and put the songs I did to the back of them. She was like, no, we want a full. I guarantee you that there was probably more energy in that than the new Lion King movie. Like that new Lion King movie, it already had the script finished. It was the same script as the first one. They had to put more energy in Black is King.
100%. Yeah.
Man, it's so crazy, man. Now, to get back into the story now, because this is the part of the Black is King where it starts getting crazy, where you start seeing her putting the baby in the basket, and that's a biblical story. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's Moses.
Moses, yeah.
Moses, yes, the story of Moses where his mother puts him in a basket to save him, goes upriver. But I thought it was crazy of her to incorporate that in, and now we're seeing her walking through this town about to be obliterated, and it's not her wearing white as an angelic figure. It's not her in her, I think you called it the goddess of fertility outfit. It's not her in her absurd outfits from all these other things. It's just a regular citizen, it seems, in this town, and she's moving through, she's crying, she's saving this child, and saves his life and dies. And I'm just like, this is so deep. And this credits back more to what we were just speaking on with her attention to detail and the way she executes a project. That is proper execution. It ties together everything you're watching.
Really interesting for her to tell this story, this Lion King-esque story, but then to embed that in as well, I thought was really interesting. So again, when you're first watching it, you're watching the artist Beyonce. So then you have to go back again and say, okay, now who is this character she's portraying, and what is this character trying to say? So I thought it was really interesting. I just felt like, fertility, just like life and energy. She was really she was a star at one point, and they all. And this is earlier. They're in all black, and it's like shiny diamonds, jewelry, like just embedded outfit. The costume design is absolutely incredible. But
I know it was all custom. I know it was all custom.
Of course, that's the only way she does it. They're holding these lamps. They're reminiscent of stars. They speak about your ancestors, and when someone leaves here, the great kings, they become part of. What you see up there, those
which
stars.
Which is a theme from Lion King that she made so much more intricate. I was like, okay, we got Simba talking to his dad in the clouds, but now you saying that we got these ancestor angel stars watching us. Like, it was so much deeper.
So then to embed that story of Moses, and just I think it felt like 50 to 80% of that visual experience, you're seeing Beyonce with some child
guiding the child doing other things.
So I just thought that was a really cool message. And then at the end of the movie, when she dedicates it to her son,
that was awesome too. But see, also we got to talk about how she put in some I can't even think of a good word to transition to it, but Brown Skin Girl, because it's one of my favorite songs on here. The beat, when I first heard it, I was like, I wish Sean Kingston could have got a hold of whoever this producer was, because he would have stuck around longer. And if you think I'm lying, it sounds like just good Sean Kingston beats. Like, if Sean Kingston would have got a hold of it.
Does.
But Brown Skin Girl is one of my favorite songs. And she has Blue on there singing. I'm like, y'all gonna make sure all y'all kids get checks. Everybody. And it was just so dope, because if you think about the Lion King, there's no representation for Nala. Nala don't get no love. Nala just pop up and go, hey, you need to go back home. But this was deeper. This was like we got to let you know that, like, as well as the kings that we are talking about in this, there are queens as well. And it was so awesome to see her bring all of these women in here, all of the different sets with them. Oh my God, those shots were amazing. I love the wordplay on the Kelly Rowland, the Lupita. I love it all, man. It was just such a good. Like, that looked like it could have been a commercial for just happiness. Like.
Naomi Campbell, had Miss Tina, had moms in there. There's also a moment in there, this really resonated with me. I think it was that transitional piece, either into that song or out of that song. And you hear that narrator come in, and he talks about, he says something like, I learned a lot from men, but I learned a hell of a lot more from women.
Yeah.
Or it was like a line like that. I just thought that was really powerful.
It was like, it's so real. Like, that's so accurate. Brown Skin Girl was great. I heard Chica, rapper, she did a cover of it and put it on Instagram. Amazing. I love that one so much too. I love that song. I love what it stands for. I love the energy that you get just when you listen.
Yeah.
Like I was listening to that when I was chilling in my backyard today, man. This is a
Yeah.
vibe. It's such a vibe. And like, oh, I don't know, man. Like my notes on it literally just say perfection. Like that's like there's no. I think the shot was perfection. I think the song was perfection. I think the beat was perfection.
100%.
Every element of that was perfect. It was just so good.
You had Lupita lip singing, you know.
Everybody had the little lip sync on the parts.
Everybody had like
Kelly
a
did
little
lip
on
sync
their
on her part.
part.
Though I noticed that he just when they say my Kelly Rose,
Yeah,
she just
yeah.
hit that look
Yeah,
on them.
she
I was
had
like,
that
okay,
look.
Kelly,
She
throw
had
it at
the
the
look.
camera. Then she threw a face at the whole
Quick,
camera.
like, wow, that black don't crack. It's like some real stuff too, though. Like, I don't
Been
even,
real.
everybody could have told me they was in their 20s, and I would have been like,
Would've
true
believed
that,
it.
true that, true. You know what I'm saying? So to
Don't
think
crack
these are,
all of them. You just
you
looking
know,
around and you just like everyone in
really
here.
reshaping, I think a lot of people's ideas of what motherhood looks like or what.
Oh, definitely.
You know,
But I mean, Beyonce reshaped that, in my opinion, when she took the Coachella
Yeah.
stage and said,
Yeah.
I know that I had twins less than a calendar year ago, but
Yeah.
I'm going to do a performance better than Michael Jackson right now.
I
Just
mean,
sit back.
Serena was pregnant and she
Oh,
won the
yeah.
Australian Open.
Man,
so
come on.
these
Black women
these
are
brown
amazing.
skinned girls.
Black women are amazing. Like what?
the
Let me
world's
go ahead and
largest
do this little
phenomenon.
tennis tournament. Go ahead and make
The
these
world's
albums.
largest phenomenon. How do black women do it? The world may never know.
That's what I'm saying. But honestly, and then like I think that might be where a lot of that energy from the song Brown Skin Girl like resonates with me. But I'm just like, oh my God, when you think about it, you just like, damn, what can't y'all do? Like shit, I ain't got nothing. Like
what are your thoughts on moving towards a I see it a lot, especially with social media, and I know she was pushing this idea a lot. You know, referring to your fellow your black peoples as kings and queens.
I don't know how I feel about myself personally doing it, but when people greet me with it, I'm just like, I feel you. I mean, it makes sense.
So what's up, king? Or
But at the same time, so this is my point on it. I mean, I don't want it to be skewed.
Because she does it a lot in the movie.
As fluidly as I can. I think that I understand it in an artistic sense, meaning that how Beyonce used it here, how it was used in this sense was amazing. But conversationally, I don't understand it because though we come from lineage of kings and queens, not everyone is a king or queen. So though I believe that everyone has the ability to, and I think when we refer to people as kings and queens, we're just saying that you're deserving of this royal moniker. You're deserving of the treatment of royalty. I think everyone deserves that. So in the meaning of the word, meaning like king and queen, and I say that to you conversationally, I'm just trying to address you with the regalness you deserve. So I feel like I will perpetuate that. I'll continually address people as if you are the top of the top, because I feel like that's how you should talk to people. But 100%. I don't know if I would ever myself say king or queen in conversation, if that long-winded explanation makes any fucking sense.
You're good. No, I'm running into a lot of people who, as I'm meeting a lot of our people in higher spaces, more intellectual spaces, entrepreneurial spaces, and different things like that. And, I'm seeing it a lot more on social media, especially.
I am as well.
It's not something that I use regularly, at all. I'll be honest. I don't be like, "What's up, King?" Like I don't speak that way. I do love. I think I love what they're trying to do with it though. And just as you said, just want to bring a level of. For me, I think it's just really underlining that there's pride here.
Yes.
With being black.
I like that. I enjoy that. Like, I enjoy that we are addressing each other, saying that there's pride in the color. Yeah. It's like it's literally just like let's also salute and celebrate our blackness in this conversation. That's
Yeah.
that's how I see people using it. I mean, so I feel that like
But it's
I agree
interesting.
with it. I don't know if I like it. As I said, I like it as an artistic thing. I mean, I like it. Like if you're making a song and you use it in a verse, I feel like it's awesome. If you're making an artistic visual piece like Beyonce does, I love it there. It makes sense. Even if you're addressing somebody, like let's say you're addressing in a tweet, hey, all my kings and queens or something like that. If you're trying to address specifically the black community, like I understand it makes sense. So like I'm not knocking it in any way. I just know that. For me, conversationally, don't expect a "What's up, King?" from me in your inbox because that's just it's not my vibe.
Yeah.
Also, it could be different for me also because I have that's a last name in my family. So like there are people who refer to themselves as their last name. So I look around for family members because they call people like King. Like that's like it's a name as well.
100%.
So maybe that's my thing.
I think it's interesting. I definitely think that again, the title "Black is King," and then just throughout the entire project, that verbiage, she spoke that a lot throughout. So I definitely see a positivity in terms of her opinion towards using that to refer to our people.
I also see it from the standpoint of metaphorical, but this is the key to the visual experience here. But Beyonce being his mother, I see it differently in that aspect too. Because if that's your son, I understand black is king. You're telling your son he is the king.
Yeah.
Like because even though as I made the statement, like people can't be kings and queens. I mean, you could be somebody's king or queen. Like hey, if that's your queen, that's your queen. If that's your king, that's your king. You know what I'm saying? So if that's her son, and that's the sense too, I understand it as well because that could be her speaking to her kids, saying you are a king.
You're right.
Especially if this kid does not know his lineage, meaning that like you hail from this line.
You're right.
You know? But I could be thinking too deep again.
I'm not in a relationship. Definitely distance from that. So I was speaking of it from just like friends and stuff like that, just referencing or just speaking in general to people. Definitely. But absolutely.
But I see it more in a relationship standpoint,
in
a family standpoint too. Because
let's say like he's my king, she's my queen. Kind of.
I mean, even think about it from the standpoint of the story of Lion King. Like Mufasa's the king, and then that's even if it's in just this family, even if it's just for this piece, even if it's just Pride Rock, it wasn't all of Africa. They just had Pride Rock. Hey, someone was fighting for a hood. He wasn't fighting for Africa. People need to say he was not fighting for the whole thing. He literally was fighting for a rock in about 200 meters around. Like, but I mean, like that's what he was the king of. Everything the light touched from where they stood on that rock. Somebody else was the king of the other rock to the other light. That's just what it was.
100%.
So, I mean, hey, it's a lot of different kings. I mean, you king of this one. So, Simba grew up to be that. So, I mean, hey, if that's this kid was growing up to be the king in Beyonce's family, the same way that her son will grow up to be the king in her family.
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe that's it. I don't
So, I don't know. I'm going to choose to look at it from a positive light. And I think that maybe there are a lot of kids growing up or just black people that just due to circumstances, environment, and things like that, maybe haven't had the highest level of pride around
100%.
Their hair.
100%. As a kid who went to predominantly white institutions, I'm gonna let you know.
Yes.
Yeah, no, it's a lot of us. It's a lot of us who didn't quite catch on to the fact that black is king until we got older. Because the thing is, it's suppressed when you're around things that don't look 100%. Exactly like you. Disney was not quite putting this content out when I was 12. 10, 9, man. I would have rather seen this as a kid, in all honesty. This would have been dope to watch when I was 10 instead of, watching Roots and just going, so we're just slaves, gotcha.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, I mean, this births something new for another generation, too. Beyonce created 100%. An educational piece, and we got to give her credit there. Because, this is something where you could say, like, hey, like, what is so cool about our ancestry? What is so cool about where we come from? What does it even look like? Like, those questions can be answered in some ways through this I almost called it a documentary, through this visual experience. It's not. Hey, but I mean, shit. Like, That's
I'm
what it
not
felt
mad
like.
at that
It felt
though.
like I was watching just black people of the past.
I'm not mad at that though. You know,
Now look, we almost at the
a
end of it. I want to say
documentary.
my last few notes on these last couple
Sure,
tracks, which
sure,
was
sure.
My Power, and then we have the other side, which pretty much was that large track that put the exposition of the story.
Yeah.
But Tierra Whack surprised me. I like Tierra Whack, but when I say surprised me, that scene, oh my God, the speed flow, the rap was tight. Like if Beyonce asked you for a feature, I guess you come with it because she came with it. That was so clean. I loved it. And then
Tierra
on
Whack,
Spirit,
incredible.
that choir, man, the acapella at the beginning
At
with
the
that
beginning. At the beginning, yes.
man, I don't know who she got. That must have been
100%.
Kirk Franklin and them's peoples in the background because they went too
100%.
stupid, man. They went crazy, and I love the colors. And then at the end, I felt it. I felt very green, if that makes any like the green you were seeing, and just it was a good wrap up. It felt like I watched
Yeah.
a story. It felt like I watched
Yeah.
a movie, and all I really heard was a couple, sentences with some songs. That was it.
Yeah. No, absolutely smashed it. Tierra Whack, I'm such a big fan of hers. Completely different sound than anything you're hearing right now. And so, you
She's always
can't.
been very
I can
different.
catch
though.
myself in a Gunna mood. I can
Oh,
catch
yeah.
myself in a Gunna mood. I'm also really into UK rap right now. It's like 90% of the time I'm
I've
playing
checked
UK
out
rap.
a lot of things overseas just based on hearing them on like your Instagram story.
Yeah.
I'll just be
Well,
like, "What is this?" Like,
you know what, man. I'm really into it, and I think it's really interesting to see. Again, R.I.P. It's crazy. I'd say R.I.P. every time I mention a young rapper, but I'm
I hate
gonna
it.
mention Pop Smoke. We need to do better
Yeah.
with that. But that New York drill. The production of that is UK rap, man. So
That's what it
so
is.
they're definitely up next. That little
Oh no! See, I there's
that
a couple
little,
tracks that
like,
can catch me. I like I'm liking the singers from Over That Way
yes,
more than
100%.
I'm liking the rappers right now. I gotta check out more rappers. I
Georgia
gotta get a
Smith,
playlist from
Ella
you.
May, Georgia
Oh yeah,
Smith, Ella May,
but the singers they got over there, bro, it's a different vibe. But I think it's
all of
because
those
all of
ladies are
them know how
going
to
crazy.
sing with an American accent and sing with their
Yeah.
regular accent, and that gives them such an advantage over all the singers coming from America.
Yeah.
Like, cause I'm just like, you
No,
could give any vibe,
any vibe, 100%.
any vibe. I love it, man. Now that we've talked about all of this Beyonce, man, what are your final thoughts? What are your final thoughts on Black is King?
Wow. Final thoughts, 100%. I think that, and I say 100% a lot. That's just my thing. But I think that Beyonce is really, she's so much more than a musician. She's so much more than an artist. For me, and someone who, has, sisters, women of color in my home, that are very near and dear to me. I just love how she handles things. I love her responses to conflict. I love her ability to be so detail oriented, be a leader in her space, to own her stuff. I love the way she, chooses to uplift, and I love how she's very. She has a platform, and she's using it to spread messages that she actually cares about. I think
Yeah, it
recently
wasn't
we've
like
seen.
you could tell that this was something she cared about the entire time you watched
Yeah.
it. You were just like, you care. I should care because you care. Like,
Recently we've seen a lot of other people who have platforms, a lot of other organizations that have platforms. Maybe slightly just felt a little disingenuous when they used their platform to speak about certain issues going on in the world right now. It was almost like their hand got forced and they had to say something.
yeah.
Whereas I feel like Beyonce's, it was just a undeniable passion for. I think 100% it probably stemmed from just a curiosity out of her. It's like, I want to know more about my culture and where I'm from.
Like,
and
every time I've thought about how you could come up with this, I feel like it just starts at like,
yeah,
well, I'm reading the script for The Lion
Yeah.
King, but like, what would have happened if it was in Africa? Let me
Yeah.
read up. Let me read up about Africa.
yeah.
And then you start reading, and then you come up with
And
this
she
idea.
gets consumed and just, she's like, oh my God, I love this so much. And it's so
It seemed
inspiring
like
to
like
me.
an over, like she was pouring out something she learned. Like it felt like, and it the way she seemed.
Right.
And it's hard to tell this. So, I mean, if somebody says I'm capping for making this claim, I'm capping for making this claim. Cool. But when an artist is producing work that they truthfully care about,
Yeah.
no matter what their real facial expression is, you can tell in their movements and their
Yeah.
body language that they are truthfully
Yeah.
all in. Like, and when I saw her, when she's dancing on the perfect is that glass plate. Oh, my God. That scene where they're in the desert. That scene, you could just see so much intensity from her. And that is what I like to see from artists when they're putting their all in work. You don't get that type of intensity out of somebody unless they're giving 100% and they're in their zone. Like, I felt like she was probably very happy with this. I felt like this was something that she was trying to achieve. Like, it felt like this was something that she had to do. And I love when I can feel that through the work, because I feel like that's
100%.
That's the best thing you could give me. Even if this isn't something, because I mean, like, I know that there had to be Caucasian people who watch this on Disney Plus. Even if this is not your culture, though, you still feel that. You still feel that she gave her all into a project. And if you work in any realm that you care about or have passion for, you see that and appreciate it. That's just what it is.
I think absolutely it inspired me. It reminded me to move creatively, to move through life guided by curiosity, to keep a high level of passion and integrity and respect in how I go about, you know, my creativity and my art form. It's just being a person, just how I go about that.
100%.
And from the credits, you know, it was a high level of integrity, a high level of passion, a high level of love and respect for everybody who contributed. And I just think she just compassion and just gratitude. Like, I walked away having I walked away feeling so much more inspired and capable, and also just
That's
so
what I'm saying. It made me
appreciative.
feel like I had to go create something.
Yeah, you know.
I was like, man, if I'm not creating nothing, what am I doing? Like, what am I doing with my black that is king?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
how am I using my gifts right now?
She really moved me. I was a little speechless. I was like, wow.
It was amazing, man. It was honestly like, I think this is almost the pinnacle. This is almost the pinnacle of a visual album. I don't know anyone else who's given me a body of work musically that translated video this amazingly.
So final takeaway: respect your creativity, respect it, honor it, go full throttle. No,
I feel that.
Don't cut any corners. If you've been blessed with an idea, this amazing dream, see it through. It's only right. You got to see it through.
Man, I feel that. I feel like I can't even say that any better, man. I feel like we got to get out of here on that note. Now, look, man, before we get out, let them know where they can find out where you are sharing your creativity and your blessings at, man. Tell them where they can find you, man.
I appreciate it. I am at Anwar _Ansante. That's ANWAR _ Ansante, ASANTE. You can find me everywhere. Snapchat, literally Twitter, IG, everywhere.
All of them.
And as you guys know, we got the YouTube coming. Man, we dropping weekly bangers, weekly videos. Anwar Ansante on YouTube. That's where you can find me. I'm putting out amazing content that, man, I'm just trying to get y'all to have that Kobe laugh.
Get your whole closet right.
I'm trying to get y'all to have that Kobe laugh, and man, I just want to share some of these blessings that I've had across my way. So yeah, that's what's up.
Definitely. Well, make sure you all check out all of those links that will be in the description below. Make sure you go over and subscribe to his channel as well. If you're not subscribed to the Miseducation, what are you doing? Go ahead and hit that button. It's right here. It's literally right underneath here. So make sure you like and comment and subscribe and share it with somebody. Share it with your grandma. Share it with your baby mama. Share it with your goldfish. You could play this and just leave. Let your pets listen to it, man. Take it on a walk with you. It don't even matter. We got an outro track coming up at you right now. If you're on YouTube and you're watching, you're not going to get to hear it, but that's more incentive to go over to our audio episodes. So we are out of here. We will see you next week. Deuces.